Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Lucretia, the Lucrative. This is part 1 of our sexual system series, where we want to get into the meat of things and understand what the effects and impact and the workings of the sexual system or the reproductive system really works, or what it is. And so I haven't really prepared this video. I just want to speak as I'm hearing things from my guides, from the Holy Spirit. And I'd like at this moment to invite the Holy Spirit, to invite the angels to come and speak through me, and so that we can try and figure things out. So you might ask yourself, what am I really talking about, and where does this even stem from? I remember back in the days, a couple of years back, there's a lady who spoke on radio. I think she was in Limpopo. So she mentioned that she met a man. She was still studying in tertiary. She met a man, and this man proposed to marry her. So very quickly they got engaged and they got married, and she was appreciating the fact that he was quite wealthy. He had a big house, and he never initiated any intimacy prior to marriage, as she was a Christian, and so she didn't believe in intimacy before marriage, and the man never pressured her at all. So she went to this man's house after the honeymoon and everything. She went to the house, and the husband said something like, something is going to come at night. You must allow it to enter you physically. And as she was sitting there in the evening, a snake came in and inserted itself inside of her, and it took out her womb, sort of like she got a hysterectomy, and she cannot have children, obviously, but she did mention that they became really wealthy. The wealth continued, but she was just warning other women that when you meet a man who is already established, you really need to ask yourself where the wealth or the riches came from. You need to pray, fast, do things the right way. Don't be excited and fooled by the glitz and glam. So that was what she said. And you also listen to more and more women, they're saying the same thing. It's always that something comes inside of them and takes something out, and then these men become really rich. I'm not saying only guys do it. I've never heard a man speak about it. So if I do hear a man speak about it, I will mention it. However, so far, all the stories I've heard were from women in South Africa. So I started questioning the Holy Spirit, that what's going on here? What's up with the reproductive system? And this is what I got. There are essentially two systems. One is the reproductive system that's created specifically for making babies. And then there's a sexual system, which is also called the sacral chakra or something. It's a creative system. So when these spiritual, magical things happen, the exchange is really between the sexual system and that being that will grant you the wealth. Even though they do remove your womb sometimes they don't. Sometimes there are women who would say they met a man, slept with the man, and then their luck was gone, and this man became wealthier and wealthier and so forth. So this tells me that it is not just the reproductive system. I suppose when they need to remove your reproductive organs, they're probably sacrificing all your potential children, but still the exchange is still really between the sexual system and this entity or this sacrifice that you need to make. So I asked myself, okay, so this sexual system, what does it really have? And then I remembered some of the books that I've read and some of the things that I've heard. There is a book by, is it Napoleon something, the Think and Grow Rich book, right? He does mention that you can use your sexual energy to manifest. And then he goes into detail on how to do it. And then I've heard on YouTube as well some speakers, the motivational speakers or manifestation speakers or YouTubers will talk about the O method. And so I did Google, I did ask ChatGPT what the O method is, and then it explained you do that on your own. So there's also the O method. But with the O method, they say that you need to imagine instead of just releasing, you need to think about your manifestation. Okay, so then that led me to really ask God, the Holy Spirit, that okay, is this true? If our intimate energy is so powerful, is it true that you can literally use it for yourself by manifesting that, I want a job, and then, do it? Some say when you get intimate with your partner, you can also do the same. Instead of thinking of them or how you feel, you can think of your goal, your manifestations, and so forth. So I got to really ask myself, how does this system work? What is this principle? And if this is so powerful, if our intimacy system, our sexual system, I'm not sure if YouTube allows me to say that word, but we'll see if I get flagged or not. If our sexual system is so powerful, why has it been so villainized? Why is it that whenever the Roman Empire or whoever came up with these things, these rules and commandments, why did they choose to villainize the system if it's one of the principles? Sounded like it's similar to saying, give and you shall receive. So if you give your tithe, your 10%, even if you don't give to the church, you give to the orphans and so forth, you shall receive. It sounds like one of those principles. It sounds like during the day the sun will come out, and then at night the moon will come sometime. It just sounds like that, like, so why has it been so villainized? Why has it been so oppressed? And is poverty, our poverty in this world, our depression, our sadness, lack, the sense of lack, and dissatisfaction and disease and so much, are those symptoms and results of this oppression of the sacral chakra, the sexual system, the intimacy system? So I'm really asking myself all those questions, and I will be spending some time speaking to the Holy Spirit, speaking to God, my angels, guardian angels, the universe, spirit in the light. I'll be spending time communicating with them and trying to really figure out what is this, and how does it work, and how can people steal it, and so forth. And so this has been the first video. On the next video, I will talk about how to protect yourself from losing your creative force, your creative power, your manifestation, your ability to manifest your sacral chakra, your sexual system to a partner that you are with. Thanks for joining me, Lucretia, signing out.